can't believe this story I've just read. And I appreciate some of you have been talking about this online for, a few days now. But I wanted to really dig into the story and find out a little bit more information, as much as I possibly could. But so the government have just given the green light. The UK government have given a green light to scientists to experiment with dimming the sun. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about the Sun newspaper. I'm talking about the ball of gas that gives us life in the sky, in space, the actual sun. Gobsmacked. There are certain stories that take your breath away as someone who reports on the news quite often. This is one of them. This is one of the most batshit crazy things I have read in weeks, for so many reasons. But let's just start off with some of the information. I believe they've given them up to £50 million to test dimming the sun for the purposes of fighting climate change. Let's just use a little bit of critical thinking here. The same people that are complaining about businesses and countries all over the world with polluting the atmosphere want to pollute the atmosphere to block out the sun. Make it make sense. Why is it these fanatical people, these green zealots, are totally okay and not outraged by this when it comes to a positive headline going, oh, we'll use it to fight climate change? This is the problem with them. They are so easily led. They are so easily distracted and misled by governments and by businesses. As soon as they say, well, this will help fight climate change, they go, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that. I mean, how stupid have you got to be to believe this is a positive thing for our environment? The sun gives us fundamental life. Without the sun, crops can't grow. I mean, I don't need to explain the basics of the most... the literal 101 of science and how important the sun is to sustainability on the planet. And I'm also not suggesting, by the way, that they're going to start pushing this out on a industrial scale. I mean, I'd hope common sense would apply before that. But even to give money to experiment on this shows to me how far we've completely allowed these bureaucrats and these politicians, these insane people, these sociopathic people, to govern us. Because any sane-minded person would go, no, that sounds absolutely horrendous. We don't want to do that. We don't want to pollute our planet any further. I think we can all agree we don't want more pollution, even whether you agree with net zero, which I absolutely don't. Those nut zero people absolutely don't. But we can all agree we don't want more pollution, right? We can all say, without a shadow of doubt, we don't want to put more crap into our atmosphere. So there's that one thing. And then I started thinking, well, who's behind this? Well, who is lobbying for this stuff? And of course, you're not going to be surprised by the names that I read out here, because a little bit of research shows you that Bill Gates has a venture, of course he does, that has been exploring this for some time, including, I believe, experiments in America and other countries. So he's obviously chucking his billions into this insanity, and using his clout around the world to, I'm sure, to push governments to invest in it as well. He's also one of his besties, another bestie, George Soros, a man who has meddled in Western democracies for decades now. His son Alex Soros actually is the one doing all the work, because George Soros is pretty much gone. They're investing in this too. They're pushing this agenda across the world. This insane sociopathic agenda. And of course, Bill Gates had a so-called secret, off-the-record meeting with our Prime Minister, our new Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, here in the UK, not that long ago. We don't have the minutes of that meeting yet. I'd be very, very keen to see them. Apologies if I'm wrong on that, but I have looked for them and I can't find them anywhere. I don't believe any government official or politician should be having off-the-record meetings in Downing Street or in Whitehall without the public being fully aware of what was said, what was discussed, particularly with someone with business interests like Bill Gates. Not just business interests, but he's also got a political agenda. The left wouldn't hold someone like Elon Musk to the same accountability if the Prime Minister, started having meetings with Elon Musk and wasn't disclosing what the meeting was about. The left would be going nuts. So you know what? We need to start going nuts as well, because clearly stuff is happening here. Clearly deals are being made and ideologies being discussed. It wasn't long after Bill Gates has also famously bought up millions of acres of farmland in America and has an agenda to get Americans to eat less real meat. Not long after that, the government here also had a new policy on taxing inheritance tax on farmers. I'm not saying the two are connected. I don't want to sound crazy, but without the minutes of the meeting, they're allowing us to speculate. Where there's an information vacuum, there's a speculation fills it. I just there's stories like this that catch my eye, and I just think, what is going on in this world, in this country? We used to be a country of common sense. We used to be a country of believing in at least the fundamentals of science, but we seem to be even forgetting that now. But I hope this experiment doesn't go badly, in the sense that it destroys part of our atmosphere. I hope it stops. I hope people start talking. I'm glad to hear people talk about these stories, because they sound like conspiracy theories when you first say them, but I can put some links to some reputable journalists who have been talking about this, even the Manchester Evening News around this story, which is where I saw it for the first time. Look, it's real. Buckle up. You don't get much sunlight in Britain as it is. It seems like you might be getting less thanks to the net zero zealots.